Now let's talk about Pakistan, a country that never stops supporting terrorism despite international condemnation and warnings. Islamabad now finds itself in a pit that it had dug for others, as Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, an offshoot of the Afghan Taliban, has been targeting Pakistan repeatedly, resulting in the loss of life and property. However, repeated attacks by the outfit prove that the country is incapable of dealing with the menace. We have a report.
2021 witnessed the return of the Afghan Taliban. As the Taliban's influence grew, so did the activities of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, a terror organization based in Waziristan, right at the doorstep of Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and the federally administered tribal areas. The TTP repeatedly targeted Pakistan, leaving behind a trail of destruction and loss of life and property. It seemed that the country, which had sheltered and supported Taliban leaders for decades, was now reaping the bitter fruits of its past actions. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan, once at the helm of the nation, had celebrated the rise of Taliban in Afghanistan. He painted it as the breaking of shackles of slavery and even referred to the newly formed Taliban government as pro-Pakistan. Little did he realize the grave consequences of such statements. Recently, a video emerged on social media portraying the aftermath of the devastating twin suicide bombings in Bara, Pakistan. The hearts of the Pakistani Defense Forces were shattered as they bid farewell to the fallen victims. However, Pakistan has failed to comprehend the true intentions of the terrorist outfit it had once harbored. The TTP always held the ambition of reducing Islamabad's influence in the KPK and FATA regions, and it was only a matter of time before they turned their violence inward. Retired Major General Bishambar Dayal shed light on the history of TTP, tracing its origins back to the Taliban, which Pakistan had played a significant role in creating, training, recruiting and funding.
To understand its history, we have to understand the history of Taliban itself. Taliban was also formed in early 90s, 92, 93, when the Islamist forces, the fundamentalist forces which were haunting, globally, which were trying to establish themselves, Al-Qaeda and all these forces were coming up. And in Afghanistan, that the government, the Soviet Union failed, and then the government flopped, and then the coalition flopped. So Taliban rose from there. And Taliban always had a foothold in Pakistan. Taliban was genesis of ISI. It was formed in Pakistan, generated by Pakistan, and the complete ISI and Pakistan Army is responsible for creation, training, recruitment, training, funding of Taliban. So when you create a force like that for Taliban and you create it in Pakistan, there will be elements in Pakistan who would be associated with this sort of a movement. So whatever thereafter the elements were doing in Pakistan, it did not have the support of the financial wizards. So in that duration, the Taliban, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, started targeting Pakistanis itself. There's no doubt about it. They were involved in number of, from 2008-9, they were involved in number of cases, particularly in the FATA area, not in the northern areas, particularly along the border, along the border of Balochistan and in this area, for number of incidents creating right up to Islamabad.
TTP's brutality knew no bounds. In 2014, they carried out the horrific Peshawar Army school attack, where 150 people, including 134 innocent students, lost their lives. The recent spike in TTP attacks had laid bare Pakistan's helplessness in tackling the menace they once supported. The regime in Islamabad, which had once sheltered and financed the TTP, now seemed to have limited options, resorting to blaming the Afghan Taliban for providing safe havens to the terrorists. The situation demanded a firm hand and serious attention from both the regime and the defense forces if Pakistan desired to alter the current course of events. Reports showed that 665 attacks had been reported in KP since June 2022, reflecting the urgency for a structural change to prevent further loss of lives. Hence, Pakistan must commit to a structural change and betterment if it now wishes not to lose any more of its personnel and civilians. Retired IF Wing Commander Praful Bakshi offered insights into TTP's deep-rooted presence within Pakistan's socio-economic structure. He said the Taliban had infiltrated the army, police, security forces, intelligence agencies, and youth programs, even influencing politicians.
TTP is not a force which is standing in a garrison. It is in the socio-economic structure of the country. It is part of the social group of the country. It is, and their elements have crept in army, they are in police forces, they are in security forces, they are in intelligence, and the youth program, they are there. But the politicians are affected by them. So they are everywhere. It is not very easy to just, until and unless you get them out or could put them under control, you cannot get the requirement. They are supporting each other. Now, if they find that police is not behaving, their support system is in police. That is how they find, that's how they create an explosion. Then they have got their elements which are ready to commit suicide. The kamikaze element are there. They'll be utilized everywhere, whether it is in army public school, whether in the police gathering, as we see, Peshawar, it happened, Karachi it happened, Rawalpindi it happened. So many places that will keep happening.
As Pakistan now grapples with financial deficits, political turmoil, and the repercussions of supporting terrorism, it becomes apparent that a drastic change is required. PM Shahbaz Sharif's commitment to anti-terrorism, voiced during the virtual SCO summit of 2023, must now transform into concrete action. The path ahead is arduous, but Pakistan has no choice but to confront its past mistakes and rectify its course if it wishes to break free from the shackles of terrorism and forge a brighter, peaceful future for its people.